a simple pattern, very effective for stillwater trout fishing in KZN. This is an egg sucking leech. Typically used along dam walls, deeper edges, on sinking lines, around rocks or structure. I'd avoid using these in weeds, just because with this bead on, you're most likely going to snag up some weed and not a typical shallow water fly. This fly is used in deeper water for fish that are holding on the bottom, typically between 3 or 4 meters. That's where I've had my most success with this particular fly, but very, very effective for trout in KZN, and I'm sure in other provinces in South Africa as well. This is quite a large one that we'll be tying today, and yeah, enjoy. Okay, squash the barb there just so we can get our bead on here. Get this, looks like a 3.5 mil tungsten bead. Chuck them in the vase. Nice, there we go. We're going to lay down a little thread base. Go all the way just past the point of the hook. And we'll just thicken up that thread base just a little bit there. Okay, then with our zonker, we're just going to trim this. We're going to taper this zonker out. We'll cut it at an angle there, and we'll do this side as well, so we get a nice little V like that on the end of the zonker. We want one body length for our tail, one hook length, we'll go with that, maybe a little bit less. Like that, we'll strap this zonker in, separate the fibers, put that on top of the hook. Nice. Just make sure that that's orientated in the correct manner. That looks good. We'll clip this out of the way. And we'll start with our dubbing. We're going to dub the shank here, a little bit of flash dubbing mixed with a synthetic blend. We'll start off with a thin noodle and slowly taper the body. Okay. One nice consecutive wraps right next to each other, all the way up to the bead. We'll go nice and thick in there, and then we'll tease that out with a bodkin. Just trying to rip some of those fibers out. We'll go over this with the brush afterwards. It just helps to use a bodkin to start up. And once you got some out there, I've just trimmed a toothbrush here that we can use to brush up the body. And we'll brush that back slightly. Nice. It just gives it a little bit more of a buggy look there. Now we'll go in with some blue flash, roughly the length of the body of the leech. One loose wrap, get in place where you want it there behind the bead. Okay, and for now we'll cut that just short of the tail there. We'll go just short of the length, and we'll do the same on the other side of the body. Wrap that in, make sure your flash is nice right on the side of the flower. And then we'll cut that second piece of flash the same length as the first there. Now we'll take our zonker over. We'll bring that to the front. We'll separate it out here. And we're going to strap that in right behind the bead there. Right where we finished up our dubbing. There we go. 2 wraps in. We'll try to cut this off as close as we can, yeah? There we go. Just 1 or 2 little trims afterwards, just to get those corners. Nice. Okay, there's our zonker strip in on the back. And to finish the fly off, we'll go with a little bit more of this dubbing up around the head or around the bead. We'll go nice and loose with this dubbing, leave it a little bit out. We're not going to wrap it as tight on the thread, just so that that teases out nicely when we go to brush it. Generous amount in the front here, and we'll just wrap this over itself, give it a little bit of bulk behind the head there. We might not need that much. We'll just play it by eye. Be one more little wrap, that's it. Brush that dubbing back, get your thread in there, behind the bead. We'll tease this out a little bit and we'll come in with the brush afterwards. That's it. Add a tiny bit more there. Just lightly wrapping over it. Perfect. We'll do our whip finish. We'll do 2 for insurance. Pull those down nice and tight there behind the bead. Trim your thread off, and then we'll just give it a small brush here with the dubbing brush. Make sure that that dubbing on the head comes out there nicely and goes down the length of the flower. That's it, that's our simple egg sucking leech pattern. Works real good for stillwater trout.
How would you work it?
This I'd probably fish on a sinking line in a bit deeper water, along the dam wall or over nice drop-offs with a rockier bottom. I'd avoid using this with a bead in a weed bed area, just because you're most likely going to foul up on that weed. So I'd use this over rockier ground in deeper water on a sinking line, a light sinking line or intermediate. Alrighty, lovely.